My name's Ashley, and today's topic is Feel to Heal in Addiction Recovery. For those who are new to the channel, my name's Ashley Bloxham. I'm a therapist. I specialise in childhood and trauma, and also I'm an addictions counsellor. I know what it's like to overcome addiction because I've done it. I've also studied it up to PhD level, and I know what it's like to have a loved one who's struggling with addiction as well. So, full round view of it. Today's topic is Feel to Heal in Addiction Recovery. So one of the things with addiction, whatever it is if we're doing something excessively, we are numbing out our feelings. It is usually an escapism, and the thing we are escaping is usually ourself. And a big part of ourselves are feelings. Feelings can often feel really uncomfortable, and we can avoid. But actually, if we can learn to just feel the feelings and get acquainted with them and rewire our brain to realize they're not that bad, addiction recovery will be a lot easier. Because one of the things that happens in addiction recovery is all of these feelings come smacking us left, right, and center out of nowhere. So how do we feel to heal? First of all, I'm just going to say hi, Fish and Felon, how you doing? And hello, King Charles and Chris, how you doing? So how do we feel if to heal? So one of the things is realizing that feeling does have a time limit on it. So experience the feeling and know that actually this isn't going to last that long, so I'm going to lean into it. It's our instinct to lean away from something uncomfortable, but actually the key is to lean into it and let our bodies process it. And there will be a sense of relief after. Name the feeling, don't shame the feeling. So what is the feeling? Like, I'm feeling very angry. Why am I feeling angry? And what can I do to move to not feel angry? I'm feeling jealous. Why am I feeling jealous? What can I do to not feel jealous? All these different feelings. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling grief. I'm feeling all these different feelings, rejection, and it's all information. So sit there, feel it in your body, then ask why, and then ask what am I going to do differently? And this will be a game changer in life and in recovery. So Chris is saying, hello, Ashley, hope all is well. It is, I'm feeling really good, thank you. Thanks for coming on and being consistent. I know for many it's a great life, but thank you, I appreciate that. I really do, because it's been a bit of a struggle this week, so I'm glad it's noticed. King, I'm not overcoming hard drugs, only weed and booze and maybe nicotine. I wouldn't use the word only in front of weed. Booze and nicotine. That's amazing that you're managing to overcome it. Look, I think all addiction feels as brutal as the next addiction. Obviously, hard drugs is something that is a different league. I'm not gonna lie, but I think sometimes we downplay our situation. I've overcame drug addiction and not hard drugs and nicotine and alcohol, and they're all as difficult as each other because it's just very intense in the moment. So yeah, hats off to you. Don't be so bloody humble. Sham, how you doing, Sham? Haven't seen you in a while. Sham saying like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, thank you. And contacting my website. How you doing, Sham? It's nice to see you. Blue, crack was easier to give up than weed, way easier. Yeah, I think there's every addiction's got its own little devilish traits. So one thing about weed is like it's just so socially acceptable. Like weed and alcohol, I literally can't walk anywhere without smelling weed. Like there was so many people who say weed isn't even a drug. It's getting legalized in a lot of places. You know, I think weed is, and also it is appropriate to be sitting having a joint in the house on an evening, not so appropriate to be on crack. And I think like when we do like, so for me, ketamine, the thing is like you're sitting there and you're like, it's not ideal, practical or socially acceptable to be ketted off my head like every day. It's just not. Whereas I think like weed, the issue is you can kid yourself into like it's fine, it's not even a drug. It's natural, all these things, and actually it can be really problematic for people. So yeah, I can understand that. Although I've got to say, my friend, he struggled with crack, and he used to struggle with ketamine addiction before. to the point where he's injecting it, like severe ketamine addiction. And he said, you think getting off ket is hard, like you've got no idea when it comes, like what it's like with crack. So yeah, I don't want to pretend to know anything about the hard drugs. Ray, I'm also almost a year clean next week. Alcohol, I do think alcohol is probably one of the hardest addictions, I've got to say. I'm so grateful I've not had an alcohol addiction. I'm indifferent to it at this point, but I did like the kind of fun it brought out of me. How can I organically get that vibe in social settings? Yeah, I love that. So I've stopped drinking, and for me, I used to feel like I needed a drink to feel confident in social settings, especially because I'm like autistic and ADHD. So I've realised I don't have very much of a social battery in social situations. Um, but how can you organically get on that vibe in social settings? So for me, I don't know about you, Ray, but if you've got to get off, if you've gotten off alcohol, like what's your reasons for it? Is it that you take things too far? Because for me, although alcohol got us onto a vibe, I'm not quite sure I would want that vibe, that specific vibe back, because it was good and then also sometimes outlandish, like sometimes social grenade. So I don't know why if that was the case with you. So for me, I've had to accept I'm not ever going to be on the same vibe as drinking alcohol, probably for the best though. Second of all, it's about a confidence thing. So one thing I do before I go to social situations is, especially when there's new people there, is I remind myself that I am a vibe, alcohol or not. I'm always fine in social situations. I just don't feel like I'm fine in situations. And I think giving myself that pep talk and then reflecting after the social situation that, yeah, I was still a vibe, like that went fine, is good to reframe your brain. It's certainly helped with me. But also acceptance, I'm never going to be the same drunk as I am drunk, Ashley. And that's good and bad. Ashley can be a hoot. Ashley can also be a nuisance when I'm drunk. Also, I will say, Ray, I like how much joy are you having in life? Because I find if I'm like feeling like bogged down for whatever reason, like I've got like a constant stressor in my life or something like that, I tend to not bring the vibe as much. Whereas if like I'm really pouring into myself, it's like self-care, doing things I enjoy, spending time with people I love, I tend to be a bit more of a fun version of me anyways. So I find that like providing I'm filling my cup up, I'm going to be more of a vibe. So I wonder as well, is that a part, or you're just feeling a bit flat and negative in day-to-day life as well, that's then seeping into social situations? Blue saying only God can save you, Sean. I'm greased. So just, I missed Sean's comment. What if I'm addicted to feet? And then Blue said only God can save you, Sean. Yeah, that's something between you and God Almighty. No, I mean, I feel like you're taking the mic. If you're not, just embrace it. Do you know what I mean? Just go with it. Find someone with good feet, I say. Right, Chris, remember to encourage one another, like this life and help the channel reach others and grow this wonderful community. Thanks, Chris. How are you doing, Chris, by the way? Jason, how are you doing? When I go to bed, bedtimes, do you mean at bedtime? I think that there's someone else in the world is gone to something worse than what I'm going through, and it helps me. Yeah, I mean, even just going to an NA or AA meeting can provide that person. Like, every meeting I went to, I was just like, fucking hell, I thought I had it bad, but that person had it next level. There is always somebody who's had a worse time in addiction or life. Yeah, but it's so true. But also, I think sometimes what some people can do, I don't get this vibe from you, Jason. I feel like you seem like you've got a really healthy, like, growth mindset. But what I have seen with some people and clients is that they can downplay their situation and say, well, there's worse people who deal with worse. So, like, somebody who's experienced child abuse to say, oh, well, it was worse, or somebody who's going through domestic violence and like, oh, well, he doesn't hit us. Like, there's people who get beat up. So sometimes a defense mechanism can be, oh, well, it could be worse, so I'm going to endure. So I want to caveat what Chris is saying is, like, it's good to put things into perspective, but also don't minimize. Just don't go through life thinking like, oh, it could be worse. Like, address situations that can be addressed, that need to be addressed. Put situations into perspective as well. Hepburn is saying humour helps when you're feeling down. Yeah, humour helps with everything. It really does. And if you think about, like, every emotion we have is a cocktail of neurochemicals being released in our body. So if we think of humour, it's like oxytocin, we have dopamine, loads of different things, loads of feel-good endorphins. And feeling down is the opposite. So we can literally flip the script. Have you seen that thing? There's a type of therapy that you could do where it's like laughing therapy. And you've just got to sit in a room with like a practitioner and they laugh, like they go, ah, ha, ha. And then you've got to go, ah, ha, ha. And then you just keep doing it until you end up laughing and you just feel great at the end of it. But I follow someone on TikTok and they laugh at, I forget his name. They'll just laugh at statuses and I feel amazing after watching him because he's just laughing that much. It makes me laugh. And then it's like shared humour of what it is and I just feel great. Like, I guarantee if I'm feeling down, go to his profile. So yeah, very real on a neuroscientific way. So I just try and be amused at things as well. Like, I get a load of trolls on here and they always say like shitty things and I'm just like, I try and see the funny side in it and it really helps. Or, you know, if someone's just been an absolute cunt, I just try and find like amusement in the situation and instantly I'm just not affected. King Charles is saying, I don't know why I used alcohol for so long. Yeah, I kind of feel like that about ketamine. Like, why was that appealing to us? Like, I took it like years later and I had a couple of keys of it at a festival and I was just like, I literally am a mongrel. Like, what was appealing about this? So weird. And you genuinely feel like you can't get out of it as well. And then when you're out of it, you're like, why did I feel like I couldn't do that? Charles is saying it wasn't really that fun for the past few years and just destroyed my body. Yeah. It's all fun and games until it's not, and then it's really fucking horrible. Yeah, I've never been so fucking scared and sick of my life and self-loathing as I was in the end of me addiction recovery. I'd say like the last year, certainly every day, mostly for the last 2 years. First 2 years was scary, but the fun was overriding it. Right, Jason, the truth is that probably people close to you have gone through stuff, and I believe that that is because they can help us in turn, we can help others. Mentorship, discipleship. Yeah, definitely. I do think that people who've been close to, I think that's the thing. I think, like, are you talking about like generational trauma? Or do you mean like from a spiritual aspect that we're putting each other's lives to help each other in different ways? What do you mean by that, Chris? Ray, I pushed the boat out too long, far on a few occasions. It was part of me stopping. I didn't feel like that was me. I'm good and I feel fine. It's just that South Africa is big on drinking. Yeah, UK is big on drinking as well. I found that for me, I'm fine just not drinking, but if it's a social gathering, having some kind of non-alcoholic drink helps because I feel like it's like that. I don't know what it is. I just feel like I'm getting involved. And that's just personally. So like on New Year's Eve, I had a bottle of non-secco and I just felt like I was doing the same thing, but I just wasn't like, I could remember the next day. But also I do have a really big cut-off point where I'm like, I can see why I used to need alcohol because I would have been going so much longer, whereas it hit like very early before I'm like, oh God, I need to go to bed. Jason, I try to look for the positive in every situation, even when it's bad. Yeah, I think that is the best thing to do. Try and look for the positive in a situation, but also feel your feelings, Jason. So I think the reason why I'm saying this, so what I used to do is just pretend that everything was okay, and really it wasn't. And that pretending was a bit like being an ostrich and just burying my head in the sand. And instead of like looking around and addressing the shit in my life, whereas like being open and honest with myself about how I'm actually feeling allowed us to address those things. But I am the same as you. I do try and see the positive in every situation. I am naturally quite a positive person, and you train your brain, don't you, Jason? Like the more you look for the positives, the more positive you become, because your brain is geared up that way. Like you're rewiring your brain to be positive. And it's a nice feeling to be positive. Being negative is a horrible feeling. And talking about like neurochemicals, it's a horrible concoction of chemicals that we're pumping around our body. Like being angry, it takes 2 hours for our bodies to come down from anger. If we're sitting like full blown seething anger, and if we're just constantly angry at the world and, oh, that's horrible, that's negative, I hate this person, I hate that, why me? That's not a nice way to live. But yeah. Doing well, Ashley. Chris is saying, been through the ringer, but the advice he gave me helped out a lot. I'm glad about that. I'm really glad for that. Yeah, Chris, I mean, your name couldn't be more fitting, Chris Warrior. You're an absolute warrior. And also, I'm glad you're doing boxing and guitar. I think that's like one thing that Chris has said a lot is that like lean into things and like creative things or doing skills, and like he's like the poster boy for doing that. Yeah, but I'm glad you're getting into those things. Sham is saying, Charles, alcohol is one of the hardest to get off because it's legal, available to purchase in most shops. Yeah, I think if I know alcohol isn't classified as is the worst addiction, but I would argue if I was asked to pick an addiction, which is the worst, I would say alcohol addiction. Yeah, it's not easy. It's so available. It's almost like you're the weird one for not having a drink in social situations. People almost like give you weird looks. Sometimes people are like, what, you don't drink? It's like a bit of like socially unacceptable to not drink. Yeah, and it's just so intertwined with society. Like birthday, have a drink, Christmas, you have a drink, socialize with your friends, you have a drink, have a glass of wine after work, have drink with your food. It's it's horrible. And also it's really fucking dangerous. It's one of the only few things you can die off going cold turkey on, and it really amplifies whatever emotion you're going on, and it lowers inhibitions and it changes you. It does. One of the hardest, I would say. What's other people's opinions? Jason, I usually find this song that would fit the situation. I do that. Such a good method. I've not met anybody else who does that. I usually find find the song that would fit the situation I'm going through, and usually I go down the Rolling Stones albums and find a song that fits, and it helps me get through what I'm going through. I do that. I play the song on repeat, and it's like I'm really sad about something. I'll play on repeat. I'll cry until I feel fine, and then I'll put an empowering song on, so I kind of like feel my emotions through songs. It's such a good method because it allows you to feel like you're not the only person going through the situation. And like as humans, we're supposed to feel connected to people. So like people really love shared pain. I think like that's things like why this channel is so good, because people can come on and there's loads of people going through addiction recovery together or have been there. Same with AANA, or like veterans like instantly like have a bond with other veterans because they get it. And like music can do that, especially when you're by yourself. But yeah, I love that. I do that. Daniel Gannon, regret is a horrible, useless emotion. Yeah, well, it can be useless, but you can make it useful. So like, I remember, so I had one relationship that I had that I let me ego and me pride get in the way of, and that is the only relationship that I've had regret over, because I never said how I felt. Like, I never said after, and it was really shit, and I held on to that regret. But instead of just sitting there like moping about it, what I did is I thought to myself, like, I'm gonna be honest, and I've stayed true to that. Another regret I had is with my son's dad, is that I used to have this 2 chance rule where I'll give 2 chances and no third chance. So like, the first chance is for me, for them, sorry. So I'm saying this is the problem. The second chance is for me, so that when they fuck up the third time, I can at least say they've done that. I've given them 2 chances and they still chose to do the thing a third time. Now, with my son's dad, I kept giving chance after chance after chance, and I'm a single mom. I wasted me good young tits on that relationship. And I just thought, nah, I regret that. I'm not going to regret it. I'm just going to learn the lesson. So regret can be a very good lesson, Daniel Gannon, but you have to learn the lesson. And now I'm back to me 2 chances, then fuck off. Handle said 777 Donald Trump's. Are you a Trumper? Jason Newton, I'm back, girl. Oh, I'm glad you're back, Jason. And I want to cuddle. I'm emotional now. Get yourself a nice teddy. I've got a really good little jelly cat that my son bought us. But you can have a what do you call it, a virtual cuddle sent through the screen. How are you doing though? And I'm glad you're back, Jason. It's about getting yourself back up on the horse. King Charles, Sham, yeah, it's hard when everyone is always offering me weed and booze. Well, yeah, the amount of times people offer me drinks and I'm like, I don't drink. I've quit vaping though. My 2 best friends, one of them was sat there blowing vape in my face, and I was just like, I had to laugh. The other one phoned us up and said, can you go to the shop and buy us a vape? I was thinking, like, I'm like 3 days deep into not vaping, but okay, I'm gonna do it because I'm ride or die. Daniel Gannon, weed ruined my life. I know quite a few people where weed has ruined their life. I do, but I know a lot of people where weed has saved their lives as well. It's got them off crack and heroin, alcohol. So everyone's different, aren't they? Yeah, don't underestimate it. Daniel's saying, yeah. I do not underestimate weed. It sends me fucking mental. That is never something I've underestimated. Jason, I'm boss. Jason needs to go. I'm boss. Jason needs to go. What? What do you mean, Jason? Can you rewrite that? Because I'm just not picking up what you're putting down there. King Charles, finding people that understand you, don't want that in your life, and respect is super healthy. Sometimes for our sake, we need to cut relationships. Yeah, Chris, true point. It is a true point. I do think some people can forget. Both my friends forgot. Like, I am not the centre of their universe. So they just didn't remember that I'm like currently going through it. Quitting vape. But some people want you to drink and smoke weed because they know that by you not doing it, that it's holding up to a mirror to them that they shouldn't be doing it. And some people as well are just addicted themselves. So yeah, it's very individual, but I'd agree with what Chris is saying 100%. Oh, Ashley Hennessy, how you doing, Smashly? Where's this Smashly gone? Yeah, oh, the thing's just moved. Hi everyone, how are you all? I'm 35 days clean today. Love that for you. Finally felt ready to reconnect with family this week, and now I'm able to be around friends who are using and support them without feeling tempted. Smashly, I love that for you. I really should call you Ashley actually, because Smashly's, she's been put to bed, hasn't she? I love that for you, Ashley. I'm so glad that you're still going strong. So Ashley did water fasting. I keep talking about this on my channel. She said that she did water fasting. Usually it takes about 3 weeks before your dopamine receptors to rewire. And she said that for her, water fasting sped that up in a couple of days. So that might be something to consider. I will caveat that to whenever I've done long fasting, like day or two, I've actually triggered psychosis because I've got bipolar. So be aware if you've got mental health disorders. But yeah, well done, Ashley, though. I'm absolutely buzzing for you. You're smashing it. Yeah, Sham's saying well done, Ashley. Chris is saying, Ashley, keep it up and be got on guard as well. Yeah. Yeah, don't get too cocky, Ashley. So when we're doing good, that's when we start to enter the phase of cockiness where Smashly can come back in with the cocky flag. But yeah, you're smashing it. Oh, how did the job interview go as well? King Charles is saying, Daniel, fair. If I'm honest with myself, it may have ruined my life as well. And I don't know if I'm off it for good, but ideally I'd like to be off it for good. Was that alcohol, King Charles? I feel like you said alcohol. Yeah, I think it's good to say ideally and just not have the fear of never. I think never can be really overwhelming. But yeah, I think if it's alcohol, oh, you're talking about, oh, Daniel, it must be weed because Daniel said weed ruined his life. Yeah, and I know so many people that's ruined their life, weed. And I think the problem is you have people saying, oh, it's fine. And actually, yeah, for you it might be fine. For this person, really not fine. Daniel's saying horrible, thanks for asking though, how are you? Oh, Daniel. Do you want a one-to-one? I mean, if you've already messaged us for one, I want to say sorry because I have got a huge backlog of emails and I've honestly, I don't know if people with ADHD get with this, but I keep thinking I'm going to do it today, I'm going to do it today. And I'm in that like overwhelmed state because I've put it off for a week for personal reasons and I need to sit down and do it. But if you are in my little list, I'm sorry, but if not, do you want to get in my list? But Daniel, right, you have been smashing it, Daniel. So what's changed from now to then? That, and I really sit down and look at that. Maybe you already know because you seem to be very self-aware. But what's changed from now to then? And also try and think about what was working then, which isn't working now. But I feel like intuitively you've probably got some situations going on because I feel like you're quite clued up and really emotionally intelligent from what I've seen. So I don't know if that advice is a bit redundant on you. Jason saying man up. I think sometimes it's a fine line. I don't accept nonsense from myself, to be honest with you. Like I do say crack on, Ashley, that's not flying with us. I do think if you're a little bit of tough love with yourself is good. Wallowing, not so good. However, you need to be kind to yourself. You can't just be like, man up, you dickhead. You need to be like, look, I know this is hard. You're amazing, but come on, get up and crack on. I think does help, yeah. Rewire the mind, yeah. Chris Warrior for Jesus literally said today on one of my comments, the best advice he has is rewire your brain. Very simple on paper, fucking nightmare to execute, but essentially, yeah, rewire your brain bit by bit. Shiv, thank you, that's really nice to say. Daniel Gannon, I'm off it nearly 2 months. A bong hit will always be there, subconsciously telling me it will provide relief. It does die down, Daniel. But name your addicted self. So Ashley, who's on, named her Smashly. Mine's Trashly. Try and name it, give it a name and put it in its place. So like for me, I'll be like, Trashly, no, that is not the answer. And remind yourself, say like Trashly, we know what that route's like. remember the times you were crying in your back garden. It didn't provide relief. It was only relief for 5 minutes and it ruined your life. So name it. Something funny, I would say, is a good thing if you can have something bantery, because that'll make you instantly have a little bit of a laugh at yourself. Daniel, name it and rationalise with it, because you're engaging your prefrontal cortex. Because the thing is, it might provide relief in the short term, but it is not going to provide long-term relief. It is going to provide a shitload more problem. It's going to provide you having to face the shittiness of relapse, then pick yourself up, start from square one. It does not provide relief. It is lying to you. If Trashly is trying to tell me that a line of cake is going to provide us relief, I'm like, you are telling fibs, missus. Get back to bed now. So I'm going to find something better to provide relief and go and do that thing, Daniel, because you're doing fucking amazing. You are. And you just you playing this tug of war with yourself now, but it's telling you lies. But happy to do a one-to-one with you, if you want to, Daniel. Please, because like honestly, you've been outstanding yourself, and I know it's really hard, and there's no failure in relapsing, there isn't. But you've worked too hard to find relief in a joint. You've worked far too hard, and you've been thriving as well. You really have, and you're finding it hard now, but this too shall pass. Jason, I always check in here just to see the beautiful smile. Thank you. Danny Shaw, the eyes, the hair, the lips, the accent. I think I just fell in love. Oh, right. Can I just say, guys, I'm here to talk about mental health and addiction. Very flattering, but this isn't this isn't what we're here for. Try and keep it on track, guys. Daniel, the cravings aren't consistent, but they linger forever. It's hard to explain or even examine. Yeah, right. I'm gonna have a little think on this. So, the linger forever. So for me, for a craving, it lasts up to 20 minutes. Is that what you mean? Like, it can last up to 20 minutes. Is that what you mean by forever? Or do you just mean... So for me, what was happening with cravings was it was just craving, as opposed to like long duration. Are you meaning it's lasting for a really long time? Yeah. Daniel said, I know I'm always procrastinating, getting distracted. I have no confidence or focus or motivation to follow through even the little things. Yeah, so it sounds like you're on a downward spiral, Daniel, because from an outsider looking in, this is not the same person who was talking a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So this is all mindset that you're in. And it's really hard when you're on a downward spiral to access what it's like when you're on an upward spiral. But this can be a great opportunity for you to learn how to get control of your brain. So there's someone who I was speaking to who's got bipolar, and like the same as me, and just like me, they've managed to learn how to keep the depression at a certain level, not get worse, and then bring it back up. So this can be an opportunity for you, Daniel. What you need to do is think about, okay, the little things are hard to follow through, so make it even more minute. So whatever the little things are, think smaller, because you need to start racking up the wins. At the moment, you're saying I'm procrastinating. I've got no confidence. So say to yourself, right now it's fucking tough, and that's understandable. I'm going through recovery and whatever it is else that you're going through. So it's understandable. Life is hard. What's one tiny, minuscule thing that I can do, and do it, and then after I say that was a fucking win, do that again tomorrow. So that could be, make it so small, like the bar so low, and praise yourself. and just keep doing that one thing. Then raise the bar just a little bit and do another thing. And think of it, I say it all the time, like a spiral staircase. At the moment you're walking down the steps towards depression session, you need to just turn around, take one teeny weeny step up, then another teeny weeny step, and keep going, and you'll start to spiral up to like positive, I don't know, I was trying to think of something. Depression session sounded like I had a good rhyme, but we need something positive. Can anyone think of any kind of rhyming for where we're heading, which is positive? But yeah, you'll start to build your confidence by getting the wins. And if that means you've got to make it in a really like pathetically small win, a win is a win, Daniel, at this point, and it will snowball. So just make the bar really low. And try and create multiple miniature bars throughout the day. And praise yourself. Make sure you praise yourself at the time, and at the end of the night, sit there and focus on the wins and say, I know that's small, but you fucking did it anyways. And really big yourself up. Has anybody else got anything that might be helpful to Daniel for when you're feeling like you can't do anything, like you're depressed and life is hard and your confidence just shot to bits? Has anyone got any advice that help them? Eric, I'm back. Did I miss much? No, just talking shite at a screen, to be honest. Nothing much. How are you doing, Eric? I keep thinking Eric Cantona now every time I speak to you though, because I think of my cat. Oh, Hepburn, how are you doing? I agree. I've had a difficult relationship with alcohol. Has period of sober, then relapse, currently sober. Yeah, I really don't envy people with alcohol. Really don't, Hepburn. But what I would say, when we've relapsed a few times, when we're sober, now is the good time to do the work. Don't wait until you're off the wagon to do the work. So keep hammering down on emotional regulation, strengthening your prefrontal cortex through like mindfulness, metacognition, so that if you do get into a position where you're stressed, you've got a better nervous system and a better control of your brain to step in and fight against the relapse. And also keep working on self-love, Hepburn. You can never love yourself too much. Like, I've been practicing loving myself for 7 years now, and I'm still amazing myself at the new level of love I'm creating, and it's never bad. It's only better. Daniel, just on total autopilot, wasting away. Yeah, it's really shit when I really get how you're feeling. It's just depression, isn't it? Being in freeze as well, either depression or freeze. You've just got to create a circuit break, Daniel. You have to, unfortunately, it's not your fault that you're feeling like this, but it's only you who can get yourself out of here. And you are so fucking capable, because I've seen you week in, week out come on here giving solid lived experience and advice to people, which has been no doubt really helpful. So you just need to tap into that and think, what's the smallest little step that I can do that is in line with that old frame of mind? Because you absolutely can, because you've done it. Something that my friend told us once, which was really helpful. I remember after my first relapse, I felt so fucking shit with myself, because I'd done 6 weeks and I was feeling on top of the world. I was feeling amazing. And then I relapsed and I felt shitter than before I'd quit in the first place. And my friend, who was and still is, to me knowledge, an alcoholic, turned around and said, yeah, but the last time you didn't know that you could do it. And he was like, now, at least you know you can do it. You might not be ready to do it now, but at least you know you can do it because you've done it before. So I'm going to give the same saying to you, Daniel. You know that you can be in that go-getter headspace because you've already been there. It's a neural pathway. So it's not a case that you can't get back there. It's just right now, for some reason, you're not there. So think about what is the reasons and how can I address the reasons, and what's the smallest, most minuscule thing that I can do that is going to put us back on track to that line, and it's going to be a trajectory. So you don't need to think finish goal, you need to think trajectory. I'm starting here, small step, keep putting one foot in front of the other, back to that mindset, because you've already been there, Daniel. So don't get defeated by this negative mindset, which is telling you that you can't, or that whatever it's telling you, because it's false. It's just thoughts, and thoughts are not truth. So take that thought to court, come up with a plan. There's something small that you can do. I just want to say good night. Good night, Menno. A big hug and nuzzle from me, Silva. I love you. Oh, thank you. Good night, Silva. Daniel, what can help you might be weird at first is speaking to your emotions and feelings out loud. Really good advice, Chris. Asking questions of them. It's a way to cast it out from you, and reaching out to others is key. Yeah, it is. Just saying, like, saying how you feel out loud. And then, like I said at the beginning, heal. I feel shit. I just feel shit. And name the feeling. Like, maybe you're feeling deflated or disappointed or helpless, hopeless, whatever it is, name the feeling. Then say, right, what can I do to get to, now I know, sorry, why am I having this feeling? And then what can I do? Martin, you're so beautiful, thank you. Daniel, funnily enough, I've done that a day earlier on, felt very therapeutic until I started labelling myself a paranoid schizophrenic. Do you struggle with things, with mental health disorders like psychosis, Daniel? Yeah, I've got to be so careful. I've got bipolar. I've got a very sensitive brain. I need to be very careful on what I'm telling myself. Are you talking about naming your emotions, by the way, Daniel, when you said you did that earlier today? Like, what did you do earlier today? Bilbo Baggins. Oh my God, I love Lord of the Rings. I am such a geek. Oh, I've got to say Lord of the Rings, but I do prefer, if I had to choose, Harry Potter. Talked about geek things as well. Absolutely love Game of Thrones. Weed saved my life. Weed is my saving grace. Yeah, I do very much stay on the fence with weed, because I do know for some people it has saved their life, and for others it's ruined their life. And that is just, that is just how individual experiences, isn't it? Like, my friend shames herself for smoking weed. I'm like, whoa, you used to have a heroin addiction. Cut yourself some slack. Cut yourself some slack. Enjoy your jakey. Like, you'll stop when you're ready. Bilbo Baggins is saying, I literally can't sleep with it. I might have problems, but you cannot overpower some PTSD. Yeah, this is the thing. I think the ultimate goal in life should be to live a stress-free life. And by stress-free, I don't mean zero stress, but like healthy amount of stress. We have stress, we can manage it. If we are living in a constant state of fight or flight, and PTSD is just extreme fight or flight, if we are living in a constant state of fight or flight, that is going to be much more unhealthier than smoking weed. Like, I'm going to say weed without tobacco. We have to do risk and reward. And like, this is, look at like antipsychotics. Antipsychotics can cause dementia and stuff like that. So like long-term risks, negative. However, as somebody who's tried to kill myself in a depressive episode and a manic episode, like, for me, antipsychotics at the time, much less of a risk. So yeah, I just think like, I think the worst thing you can do, Bilbo Baggins, is shame yourself. And the fact that you're sitting there saying it's my saving grace, if it's helping you, I think let it be your saving grace. Like, do you know what I mean? People just because weed's illegal doesn't mean it's bad. Because alcohol's legal. And you could argue that alcohol is worse than weed. Not for every person, but like on paper. And there's also other worse things that you can do. So I think it's really important that we don't moralise what we're doing, that we think about like what is right for us, because the worst thing we can do is shame ourselves. Like shame is a shitty emotion, and anxiety, it kills you much faster than a lot of stuff will. Chris, Daniel, don't feel bad for doing something that can help you, and don't think less of you because of it. The fact that you want to fight shows how willing you are. Yeah, I agree, Chris. Daniel, you, honestly, I know this feels, you're feeling on your knees at the moment, but you are a fucking warrior. I know you are. And you just need to remind yourself who the fuck you are. You really do. Andy Brody, weed makes me feel normal, believe it or not, but I need to stop it. Yeah, this is the thing, like, I'm saying, like, this is why I'm so on the fence about weed. I don't want to shame people for doing it, but yeah, if you need to stop it. My friend, so I felt like I was, right, I'm trying to think whether I'd use my own story or somebody else. I used my friends. She felt like weed was really helping her until she stopped it, and she was like, actually, it wasn't helping us at all in the ways that I thought it was. So you might find it's make you feel normal, but actually, it might actually not be. It might just be numbing you out, I would imagine. Do you eat monkeys and snakes, Milko? I do not, no. That is not in my diet. I am a vegetarian, so I ain't eating no meat unless I'm nicking it off someone's plate, because I love to bend a rule. Daniel Gannon, yeah, I used to love myself. Now I have myself, my life just disintegrated. This has been so fast though. So think of it like neural pathways. We've got neuroplasticity. We've got a way of being where we love ourselves, and we've got a way of being when we don't love ourselves. And just because you're going down the route of not loving yourself doesn't mean that that is true. It just means you've got off track. There was something actually. Hey, I've just noticed a plant that's clinging. Oh my God, I've got a plant that I brought up the water. Sorry, I've just realised I feel sorry for any plants which I've bought. I never should have done it. It's too much of a responsibility. Oh, no, it's gonna. Sorry, I'm just feeding that plant so it'll get forgotten about. I've even the plant feeding water. It's probably about 3 weeks old though. It's probably thinking, why the fuck have you just give us that, you fucking nutball? Anyways, getting very distracted there. Right, back on track. Oh yeah, so I heard this like Buddhist thing, and it was saying like there's two wolves inside of you, a dark wolf and a light wolf, and you get to decide which one you feed. You absolutely do. So the most minuscule thing you can do, you know, when we're talking about the low bar, is when you're talking down to yourself, just say no, not true, and give yourself some evidence of why it's not true. So just the minuscule thing you have to do, it doesn't need to be getting up and washing or even brushing your teeth, because I've been in states where brushing my teeth is too fucking hard. But something small to do is when you hear yourself being nasty to yourself, say, that ain't helping, so let's reframe it and just say not today, and say something nice to yourself. Ashley, thanks so much for helping me at the start of the year, and yes, I'm going to be careful. Oh, I'm glad. No, honestly, Ashley, like, you're amazing. And I really, really enjoyed our phone call. I was really laughing so much. And I've learned a lot from what you were saying, which has been helping you, which I've used on my channel to help others. So it was definitely a two-way street. Boxing boy, when did you get diagnosed with autism? About 2 months ago, but I got told, so I got diagnosed with ADHD the day that I stopped my addiction. So I had a private diagnosis, a private, what do you call it, a session. A session with a private psychiatrist. I went down the private route. I had my session to see if I had ADHD. Was my end date. So I set an end date, and it was like on the 3rd of February, so 4 years ago yesterday. And I was like, right, I'm going to stop the day that I go for my diagnosis. And then if I've got ADHD, then I'll get prescribed ADHD meds, which I thought could act like a methadone type thing, like a substitute. And I did have ADHD. My psychiatrist said some of the stuff, he was like, that's not ADHD, that sounds like autism. And he's like, to be honest with you, I feel like you've got both. And he's like, I can do the diagnosis for autism, it'll cost you 650 quid. And I thought, no, why would I need to do that? But I ended up going public health sector. It took 2 years to get diagnosed. And that was pushed to top of the list as well, because I had been sectioned and I was a single parent. But yeah, about two months ago. But I've known for about 4 years. Right, I'm getting really tired, so I'm going to scroll at the bottom, answer a couple in the middle, and answer just a couple of questions at random and then go. Ashley's saying, remember, feelings are just temporary. It's just feelings, yeah. Even if they're shit, they're just temporary and you'll feel better in a minute. Yeah, everything in life is temporary. And if you're struggling to think of this, like, I know when you're in the thick of feeling shit and you're on depression session, is awful. It's really hard to get out of that feeling. Because you feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But what can be helpful is to remind yourself of another time where you felt really shit, you felt really powerless, and you felt like this was never going to end. And remind yourself, right, that ended. And actually think of the positives which came out of that negative situation. So for instance, for me, I always think of my addiction recovery. Like, I genuinely thought I was never going to be able to get through addiction recovery. I did, and I think about all the positives that came out of it, and I'm like, right, so I can get through shit times, I can get through negative feelings, and also there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to win something out of this, because where anything negative that happens in our life, there's always growth in it, guaranteed. And it's just involving the prefrontal cortex, like your anterior prefrontal cortex, like rational thinking, logical thinking. Because when we're feeling shit, it's our limbic system firing and wiring, so we want to get into our prefrontal cortex. So just rational chat with yourself can help. David Perez, no cigarettes, no weed, no alcohol, no drugs, no sleeping around. I'm single on semen retention at all cost. God is everything to me. Love that. That is just smashing life. I love it for you, David. Dave, I've done that to myself, mate. It relieves stress and focuses attention onto it, learning the punches. There are plenty of box along workout videos on YouTube. Yeah. I've just got myself a jiu-jitsu dummy, so I do jiu-jitsu. I've just got myself a little jiu-jitsu dummy, which is on its way. Should be turning up between tomorrow and Saturday. So I can just, like, go on Instagram. Because I struggle with doom scrolling, so I've just geared me algorithm up to jiu-jitsu. And it means that when I learn a move, I can just go practice it for 5 minutes. And it's just like 5 minutes of doing something, like, positive. But yeah, me and my son have got a punch bag. He's got a little trampoline that I like to go on as well, a sensory trampoline, and we call it the mood trampoline, and I go jump on it. It's a great thing to do. It just calms you down instantly. But I mean, I don't know if everyone wants to be buying themselves a kid's sensory trampoline, but you might. But it's anything proprioception and vestibular. So look into proprioception and vestibular. But it's like basically movement and pressure will help. Liam is saying, didn't know live videos appear as shorts. You were a very strong, resilient person. Yeah, they started, YouTube has started doing that. Thank you. I always quote this, it really amuses us. It's this person who said, like, if you see us thriving, no, that's plan Z. Like, I'm only strong and resilient because life's threw a shit ton of crap at us. And I've just had to learn to roll the punches and then learn how to punch back. Now I'm a fucking beast. But yeah, thank you. It was unintentional. Hey, gotta laugh. No, I say unintentional. I intentionally worked on myself, but yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go because I'm getting tired. But yeah, I'll read one more thing. See, you know what's not temporary? My love for that angel face. Thomas, I feel like it'll be very temporary. I'm someone on YouTube. It'll be fleeting, don't worry, hang in there. Nam Roth, can you show us your old photos? Comment that on one of me content, and can you put photos in comments? I don't know. Comment on any of me old lives and I'll have your name. I'll have your name there. I'll subscribe to you and I'll tag you if I can. I don't know how YouTube works for this, but I think I can put a post up. So I'll do that. I'll put a photo because I'll look at photos. I was out like with my sister and I was thinking like, why did I think that like I did not look like an addict there? Like a sunken eye. Oh, it looked horrible. You can put photos in comments. Yeah, do that. I'll put a comment on one of my things. I'll send you a photo on one of my comments. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to say thanks for everyone who showed up. If you could give us a subscribe if you haven't already, that's so helpful to my channel, to grow my channel and get us out to the people who matter, and hit a little like would be good. But obviously you don't need to. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But yeah, I'll be back again on Friday at 10 a.m. and I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. and then Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Gave up the Friday, it was too much. But yeah, thanks for everyone who's joining. Daniel, you have fucking got this. Remember who the fuck you are. Remind yourself who the fuck you are. This is your mind playing tricks on you. And you just need to start off really small. Like, but turn around on that spiral staircase. You're going downhill. That's fine. Everyone does. But just think about what one little step can you do. Because you were one of the people who were helping other people and inspiring other people. So try and tap into that inspirational version of yourself to inspire yourself now. Yeah. Anyways, bye everyone.